It's another side that like wants to take more, wants to go that one more round, because like going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Welcome to another episode of One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. I'm your host. With me today in better high-def quality. This is amazing. This is so exciting. We got Katie and Kyle. I think we look better. I got this high-def just so we could see Katie better, you know. Because...
Well, I don't think we need to do that. And I'm also, I have like bags under my eyes. Just probably stayed out too late too. Stayed out too late, maybe.
I'm sorry to hear that. We look fantastic. Kyle, you look fantastic. I'm really excited to talk shop today. Before we get into the movie review part of the show, let's talk about Creed 3 a little bit. Yeah.
Sorry, I want to address something really quick about this new setup here. A concern I have.
Okay.
I think we might be going the way a la Rocky 3, where things get too fancy and we forget where we come from. If our podcast starts to suck from this point on, like we're doing setups and stuff like that, we may have to go back to Discord to kind of remember where we come from.
Because that's like the shitty LA neighborhood that they were in.
Yes, exactly. I feel like we might get too soft with this high def, good quality stuff.
It's a possibility.
We will keep that in mind. If we get too high glossy and too good for our own britches, yes, we'll go back. Well, actually, we'll go forward. We'll just go right to Rocky 5 quality podcasting, and we should be good to go. Okay. In our last episode was the big Creed 3 mega review episode. It did very well, and people were pretty positive about it. Basically, about the breakdown. What I wanted when we did that episode was that we would be fair and be fun, and we would criticize what we thought was good to criticize, but at the same time, we weren't like just being mean about anything. I think it was probably the most fair and fun Creed 3 review there is. And so the responses to us, even the people who didn't like the film and we liked a little bit more and vice versa, I don't think anyone came back and said, I didn't get any emails. I asked for anyone to give us emails regarding that they really disagree with. We got comments and stuff, and all the comments were positive. So I want to thank you everyone for being very positive to our review. The only negative thing, of course, was that Katie, you weren't there live in person, but your recorded review was the best review of the lot. So thank you for that well thought out review.
Oh, I was just going to commend you guys as well. It was a great show. I enjoyed listening to it. It was an extra giant jam-packed episode, but it was great. So I'm actually surprised though that you didn't get emails.
Nothing. Well, nobody cares about us anymore, too. That could be it, too.
There was something I did want to kind of comment on a little bit. So I would say for the most part, we all had like similar, I just remember when I was listening to it, having similar feelings to you guys. And I know the Ali ticket, the Rumble in the Jungle.
Right.
However, I would like to point out, because I noticed that when I watched the movie too. However, this isn't the first time Ali was introduced into the Rockyverse. It was in
Don't tell me. Ali and we can see Rocky Balboa?
Mm-hmm.
What scene was that?
So that's why I hear that, but it was actually previously introduced in the simulated fight, like the broadcasters.
His name was brought up?
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. They did talk about the controversial computer fight between Ali and Marciano.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. I justified that in my mind that they really meant Apollo Creed because all of that predate, like that computer fight was during Ali's layoff when he couldn't fight because he was charged with draft evasion.
Yeah.
The problem I had with the Rumble in the Jungle specifically, the second Clubber Lang fight was basically the Rumble in the Jungle. And like George Foreman being Clubber Lang, and then they referenced the Rumble in the Jungle in '74. It bothered me. I didn't like it. Made me upset. Anyway. By the way, this is off topic, but I've actually started working on the timeline analysis
It's not off
Rocky
topic at
films.
all. This is
Yeah.
a Rocky podcast. This
Yeah,
is
that's
all
very
about the time.
off-topic.
Very off topic that you're trying to track. The timeline is insane. I know we're supposed to do a
So
better job of
there's,
this.
I'm basically right now, I'm tracking. Okay, so film production dates is the easiest timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also going on the implied timeline for people saying how much time has elapsed between events. Like we have 1975, 1976 as our foundational timeline because it explicitly states that in the first film. And it's also the bicentennial, so there's no getting around that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so from there, one timeline you could make is people saying like, okay, it's been 6 months, it's been a year, it's been 3 years, it's been 5 years. They say that throughout the films.
Right.
So you can create one timeline that way. But then you can create a different timeline by looking at stated dates throughout the film.
Right.
Like, for example, Rocky 3 that you could find in print that it says 1981.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't looked at Rocky 4 yet, but I think there's a magazine cover in Rocky 4 that has Drago on it. It has 1984, 1985 on it. I haven't cracked that open yet. So that's another timeline. So I'm coming up with all these different timelines. I got to write like an essay or something on my theory of how everything works together. It's going to be that meme with that guy and he has all the things on the wall.
From
and the strings connecting everything, like the conspiracy theory guy meme. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That guy.
Yeah.
I think I actually made a meme about that. I think I did, or something to that effect.
Yeah?
Where I said something explaining. I think it was just explaining Rocky's son aging between 4 and 5. And thank you to everyone who did the Creed 3. Also thank you to everyone who submitted emails and voice messages. More importantly, that we had literally an hour and a half of voice messages and emails to read and listen to. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a great collaborative effort. And speaking of Creed 3 news, and this will come up a little bit, I'm sure people are going to still send us emails in the future. So again, if you want to send us an email, you listen to the episode, you want us to share your thoughts, I said that's an open invitation. That's not a problem. We can read emails all the same throughout our recordings in the future. Of course, as of yesterday, Katie, you heard about the news about Jonathan Majors. Did you want to share anything about that?
No. What are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know either.
Oof. Okay.
I was really kind of I was not like online at all yesterday. So what happened?
He was charged and arrested for domestic violence against his girlfriend.
Who is she? Who is she?
I don't know who she is. I'm just going to blame the victim for the record.
I did not hear that.
She had it coming.
Yeah.
No, apparently it was a bit of a push, shove, strangulation type thing. She went to the hospital to be checked out, but she's fine. Probably more emotional shock than in real physical pain. But he has been charged and arrested. Now, his spokespeople have said it's a lot of boo-ha about nothing. Apparently, because of course that's what his team will say. But of course, this is a bit of a black mark on his career.
He's a rising star, and yikes! Yeah.
I try and look at it this way: we want that not to be true. For reasons.
Of course, we don't want her to be hurt. We don't want there to be a real victim, and also we want him to entertain us. Yeah.
But if this was in another context and the facts are the same, I don't think we'd hesitate with saying like, okay, that something fucked up happened, right?
No, it is unfortunate news, and it is too bad. And I hope his name gets cleared, and I hope she gets compensation. And if he gets in trouble and has to serve time, let's just say, here's the thing: at the end of the day, let's say he did do it. He assaulted, physically did something to his girlfriend or the girl that he was with, and he goes to jail. It's not like he's going to be in jail for 50 years. He might just do community service. People have done this kind of thing. It's terrible. It's unfortunate. They could have had a fight. Who knows? Maybe she was hitting him. I'm just saying we don't know the whole story. I'm just saying. Luis just said this. He goes, Ryan is a student for the Pauley Pinedo School of Domestic Relationships. No. That is not true. I do not condone this behavior at all. I'm just saying he has to serve time and take care of this. Good. Serve time, take care of it, and come back. I hate it when people's lives have to be canceled because of mistakes, whether you're a celebrity or the professional business or whatever. We're all humans and we make mistakes. If there's a justice system and you are serving time and you've paid your time to community, it's odd that we don't, as a community, forgive that as well. Like, we are all for the justice system doing its job, but then when it's over, why can't we say, hey, have you reformed? Have you gone to anger management? So I just hope this gets cleared up. And if he has to serve time or pay time to community, he will do so and come back. But this is going to hurt him. I mean, it's a bad look. And I don't know. follow
honestly
this.
don't care what happens to him at all.
Whatever entertainer you enjoy, because I did really enjoy him in Creed 3, and I'm like, oh, I think I like this guy.
If we're selfishly looking, I'm not saying you're being selfish. I'm just saying if we're gonna just not care about anything and we just got to look at it from the perspective of we want this guy around to entertain us or whatever, and Creed, whatever.
Right.
Is he coming back? Like, usually a villain's done for, right? Like,
well, no, his character's not coming back
choice.
in the Creed. He's also in the Marvel films as the new baddie. He's the new.
Oh,
he's the new Thanos type level character.
Yeah. Okay, I don't care about those movies. So
Yeah, I don't either.
No, but
I wanted
no,
him.
but
I
they're
want
big.
him in Creed
They're
4, though. Because he made the movie, in my opinion. If it wasn't, if not for him, I don't think people would have liked it as much.
No, I think he was a big part of it being a good film. Absolutely, yeah.
It's
anyways.
a weird line we draw, and it's kind of arbitrary a little bit. Like, I understand what you're saying, Ryan. If justice is served, for example, like this guy he doesn't use his money to get out of it or whatever.
Sure.
If from the perspective, if justice is served, why are you canceling this person? But then it's like, would you say that for Bill Cosby or someone like, or Harvey Weinstein or someone horrendous? Like, you probably wouldn't, right? So there's like this weird continuum there.
Well, it
like,
does depend on what they do. I mean, I think that's the line. It is a bit arbitrary, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Some things are pretty horrific, and we don't know what happened, but maybe he shoved her or whatever. But even that's different than repeatedly sexually assaulting.
I know it's different. The point I'm trying to make is for Cosby, everyone's basically in agreement, right? Like if you believe that he did it, everyone's in agreement. That's so horrific that you can't ignore that. And it's basically so much of a distraction when you're watching their stuff, even if it's their past stuff, that it kind of ruins your experience.
Sure.
And I think it's kind of similar. Like, is what they did too much of a distraction for you to suspend your disbelief? Because in reality, they're just playing a character, right? Their character is not them necessarily. But then it's like when you're watching them, is that all you're thinking about? Is it what they did, right? And I think the severity of what they did really factors into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Look at Will Smith. I mean, he physically assaulted a male on stage in front of millions and millions of people over a year ago, and it has affected his. So Jonathan Majors, unfortunately, this was behind a camera. Like, no one filmed this. This was in privacy. But essentially, it sounds like he might have done the same thing to a female, right? It was a domestic dispute. There was physical violence. Will Smith still got his Oscar and still has a career. So I guess that's kind of what I'm saying too. Now, Will Smith can open-handed assault a man on live television and watch, and millions of witnesses. No one has denied that this happened, and he gets his Oscar and still. But at the same time, Kyle, yes, his career has been tarnished. He's still a bit of a pariah. Like people, I've heard people say, I go back and watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and all they can think about is the slap.
Yeah,
still
same. I was really pissed off that Will Smith wasn't criminally charged for that slap. I know Chris Rock chose not to press charges.
That's right. That's
like
why.
In Canada, for example, if that happened, the person doesn't have to press charges. The police can press charges. So if you assault someone like that in public, you could get charged for that. Money still talks here too, so you could probably still not do jail time or whatever. But me watching Will Smith stuff is, if he has a movie that comes out, that plays into it. Because I think that someone's likability as a person affects whether you watch them or not. For sure.
It's true. And the ultimate, I think, is like Michael Jackson, because he's so R. Kelly, nobody will touch him, or nobody's listening to R. Kelly anymore, but people still listen to Michael Jackson,
Well, one, because his music's better. And as far as I know, Michael Jackson didn't pee on any boys. He just cuddled with them.
Yeah, interesting.
I think Michael Jackson did the Cosby drink and other things. I think he gave a Cosby drink to the kids as well. Apparently it was Jesus juice. Wasn't that what that was? All right. Great discussions. All the best to Jonathan Majors. I'm kind of glad I got to see Creed 3 before the charges came out. Yeah, we'll see how that pans out. We'll keep you posted. Join us every week while we keep you posted on people get it from us first. Or the TMZ of Jonathan Majors. Yeah, no emails. I just double checked there, Katie. No emails. So send us an email, folks, if you want, and we'll read it. You can still join our Discord. We usually record live in Discord, but we're doing this now with StreamYard. But you can still join Discord for show discussions, to share things, and also that's where I'll do the announcements when we go live. I'll still do the announcement that we're going live and share the link via Discord. So please join our Discord so you can still watch us live. Yeah, well, here we go. The movie. Remember where we left off?
Oh, it has been a while. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
How's everybody in the clubhouse tonight?
Oh, fine. How'd your day go?
A million laughs. It was great. You need some help with that?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Hey, you know, Adrian, I was thinking maybe you ought to stay home and rest your stomach, you know?
Well, come on, Ruckus. It's part-time. We need the money.
Yeah, well, maybe you're right. Here we go.
I always like this scene because seeing poor Adrian struggling with this dog food or birdseed bag or whatever, and then Rocky just picks it up like it's light as a feather. I've always enjoyed his white knight saving moment here for poor Adrian, but then I just feel so bad for her that she's just lucky to stuff around all day as a pregnant woman in the pet shop.
Was it not known or not a thing? Because I always thought pregnant, you're not supposed to lift over a certain amount of weight. So why is she lugging heavy things around in the first place?
I'd have to ask an older person what it was like being pregnant in the 70s. But I know, for example, Ryan, you probably know this too, parenting stuff and things like that change over the decades a lot. And so like when you have kids, your parents will sometimes disagree with the way you do things. It's like, oh, you shouldn't do this because of that. And you're like, yeah, that was debunked in like 1986. Things change so much. So I don't know if that was a thing in the 70s. It could have been. But.
Yeah, you're probably right. There's such a stark contrast in their attitudes. Like Rocky, I think he's putting on a front because I don't think he had a great day, but he's really putting the show on. Everything's super positive. But so Adrian is like the opposite. She's like, oh, like she's really downtrodden. And Rocky's coming in pretending to be chipper.
He's very happy. He's working at Mickey's, you know. He's sweeping the ring. He just finished sweeping up all the garbage, and he's so happy to be off work.
That ain't my brand. Huh? I like oatmeal. Hey, listen, why don't we forget all
He
this?
just dumps it on the... I love how he just finished cleaning the gym, but then he dumps the empty bag on the ground. Adrian, you'll get that later, right? You'll pick that up later. And then, of course, he eats the food. Not my brand. Just full.
I tried a dog kibble once on a dare as a teenager. It was disgusting.
Dog and cat food. I've eaten cat food. It's gross. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's up. So like him eating it and be like, not my brand. I'm like, I think you'd have a different reaction. 13 or 14, and my friend like dared me to. And I'm like, it probably isn't that bad. I took one bite and I was like, almost died.
The biscuit treats are probably pretty bland though, but the actual kibble that's got rendered leftover parts of things, that's probably gross.
Those bacon ones smell pretty good though. Like I haven't tried it, but I'm like, that smells great. Anyways,
we got a good question here from Luis. He goes, did Rocky really try his best to find an occupation? He tried white collar places that weren't going to hire him, but after the meat factory let him go, he pretty much said F it and allowed his very pregnant wife to work at the pet shop.
Yeah, well, I think we talked about it during that episode. Agreed, Luis.
People were like, hey, let's take a good paying menial labor job. And Rocky's like, I'm going to take a bad paying menial labor job. I think the issue is he just wants to be around it. Like he wants to be around the boxing thing, which is fucked up in the sense that his wife has to work at the pet shop to subsidize that. Like you think he could do construction or something like that. He's probably pretty well liked in Philly, so even if the economy's not the best, he'd probably still land a job. He could probably get a job training people. Like I always thought if he worked at Mickey's, he could work helping because people would respect him. He'd probably be a good draw to Mickey's gym. Hey, train with this guy who like fought at a championship level.
I guess word of mouth had to do the marketing back then. They didn't have Twitter.
Apollo had Twitter. He had his hate mail. It was just in the form of, it was just in the form of paper, but it was still Twitter.
There you go. That ain't my brand. Huh? I like oatmeal. Hey, listen, why don't we forget all this work? Listen, you want to come home with me now, and maybe I'll tell you a few jokes on the way home, and maybe you'll laugh, you know? Huh?
Yeah.
We need a few laughs in our life. What do you think? Maybe?
Yes.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay, let's get out of here, okay? Here we go. Hey, listen, Adrian.
Yeah.
Listen to this one. Why do cows wear bells?
Why?
Because the horns don't work. Is that killing you? No? Huh?
Oh.
They really used to like it in third grade.
This is so weird. I get that this is a movie and that you can't do everything like they do in real life because it would be boring and long and drawn out. But she's working at this shop that she doesn't own. And Rocky's like, hey, just stop working and come with me.
Yeah.
And then she's like, all right.
Yeah, she
and
doesn't.
then leaves, doesn't cash out, doesn't turn the lights off.
Nope.
Maybe locks it. Maybe.
Maybe Gloria's downstairs cleaning the cat cages, and maybe Gloria said, "Hey, whatever Rock comes to take you after work, you can go." Like maybe her shift's over, and she's just helping Gloria. I know.
Maybe Adrian's working a hybrid environment where she's going to work from home for the rest of her shift.
Perhaps Rocky, we'll have to go with, he knew that she was about to get off work, and that's when he came over.
But I'd say the scene in the first film where he comes by and he's like, aren't these birds like candy, like flying candy?
Mhm.
And then asks her to go to the basketball game. It's like very kind of a similar shot. Like she's at the counter like that. But it's similar in the sense that she's kind of down and he's trying to cheer her up and he has that similar positive attitude. With the difference is she actually goes home with him this time.
Now you notice the guys are right. The next scene, they're already out there. It's actually a good little.
It is, yeah.
People seem to loaf around more back then. I actually
Loaf around. I like that phrase.
I was listening to this YouTube video, but it was a video of Reddit comments that's read by like an AI voice. And the question was, it's people who have done long stretches in prison. What did you notice about society that was different when you got up? And one guy said how quiet it is outside compared to what it used to be like. And he said, well, before he went away, like I think this person did like 20 something years. There always used to be people out on the street talking to each other and their little groups huddled around. And I remember that as a kid, actually. Like when I was a kid, I used to just go out and see who was out, who to hang out with. But nowadays, everyone's kind of in their houses now on their devices and electronics and stuff. But these people just hanging outside by this car here is totally normal for this time, but really weird to us now.
With that one.
They did turn the lights off.
Oh, they did turn the lights off.
I think he turned it.
He did.
There is probably a deadbolt, or there should be, but he just turned the knob lock.
Yeah, he
and
did.
then
He did a
checked
little
it.
check there. So
Yeah.
a very quick lock up. Turn off the lights. Yeah, but you're right. There's no cash out. That bag is still on the floor. So when Gloria comes in the morning to open, it's like-
I hated when I had to work, when I had to close one night and
maybe.
open the next morning. That's when life
Yeah.
sucks.
that could be very true. Maybe she works a 12-hour shift.
Or she's just like, this, I'm going to be here in the morning. No one in Philly in this neighborhood's going to buy a pet at like 8 at night or whenever this is.
Why are they open when it's dark out?
So the guys are over there and they're about to call over to Rocky.
You really sweep good, man.
She talking to you?
Nah, he probably has me mixed up with somebody else.
So this is the scene that really threw me off, that it was Apollo's people. And I know you guys are like, no, it's not Apollo's people. I get it. But it just seems odd that they were there. Did they know he was there? Were they waiting for him? This is why I feel like it's a hit. Yeah, like it's like an insult hit, because it seems like they're really making it their mission to let him know, to get him angry, that Apollo is, because if it's a natural occurrence, this is just naturally happening in the world. Okay, fine. I guess it's possible that they're just hanging out by the gym. Sure, because the gym's across the street. I get it. But it's just like, oh, there's that guy. I hear you sweep real good. It's just like, is that even an insult? I don't know.
No,
Again,
it's super lame, but it's for our benefit. They're really trying to hit us over the head with the fact that
and I understand that. I know this is Kyle's accused me of the tinfoil hat, and I understand that, but it actually, to me, but the characters' motives and behavior makes more sense, and what they're saying and doing, and how quickly they're doing it in the timeline, that they've been tasked to do it. Vice, they're just naturally doing it. That's my argument.
no.
Okay. All right. I'm alone. Fair enough. I'm alone. I can't believe I'm alone on this. Just email me. Somebody comment. Somebody tell me I'm not crazy here, that their behavior is really just odd. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's hear it again.
No! You really sweep good, man.
She talking to you?
Okay, hold on.
Nah, he probably has.
What if that's a guy from the gym?
It is the guy.
It
It's
is.
the same
It's the-
guy.
yeah. guy that-
It's the guy from the
it's the
gym.
guy-
He knows Rocky's sleeping. He's probably finished his workout recently. He's hanging with his bros. He's been making fun of Rocky all day. He sees Rocky again. He's with a group of friends, so he's confident. And he's like, hey, bro, you sweep good. He's showing his other group of friends how much of a fucking man he is, right? Because he's lipping off Rocky Balboa. He's getting away with it. I feel like growing up, people did this type of shit. People are always yelling shit like this. I feel like people do that less now. Maybe it's the guy that said, no, you could take it, or don't you have anything tougher to say than oops, but I don't think it's that guy.
I think it is that guy.
Yeah.
I am pretty certain it's the same guy.
So Louis says, I used to think he said, "You're really sweet, good man."
Really? Oh, how nice.
You know what I'd say if I'm Rocky? I'd be like, come over here and say that.
Yeah, I know. You've mentioned that before. That's the Kyle.
Yeah.
That's the Kyle. The Kyle anger would come
But
through.
he's with his wife.
Yeah, I don't care. I would be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed that I got treated like that in front of my wife.
He doesn't let that kind of thing go later in life. In Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't let that kind of stuff slide.
Yeah, he went up to those 3 guys
Mm-hmm.
and just grabbed him and said, like, you want some of this? And then
However,
that guy immediately pushed out because he knew he'd get killed. My view is if you let people push you around, they're going to keep pushing you around. Like, you got to stand up for yourself.
I'm standing up for myself. I'm not backing down from my theory.
okay.
Okay, you're insane. Okay, I like that. Okay, you're an idiot. Okay, sure.
Go have fun.
Yeah, go have fun with that one.
Be mixed up with somebody else. Come on.
So he does affect them. Look, it affects them.
Italian
They're still laughing at that joke. They love that, and they
He
always.
doesn't look like that guy.
Oh, maybe it wasn't
Like
him.
the oops guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him. The hair, he just has clothes.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
How you guys doing? Did anybody move today? You know, huh? How's life in the bowl? You gotta exercise once in a while.
These poor turtles in
They
this
didn't-
prison cell of a bowl.
And the goldfish. I do love the carryover of the
Right.
both Moby Dick and Cuff and Link, but they didn't get an upgrade. They
Buy a
should-
bigger bowl for
She works
Christ's
at a
sake.
pet store, yeah. Buy an aquarium at least.
These turtles are like,
Hey,
this is
Link,
the worst
you
existence
slamming down
ever.
there?
Like, I hope they're really stupid. I think like the more intelligent you are, the harder it is to handle. No stimulation. It's got to
Hear
be.
some TV? Huh? Wanna hear some TV?
I love how he's going to turn on the TV for the turtles. They can't see, Rock. They're on top of the TV.
He says, "Do you want to hear some TV?"
Did he say here?
You want to hear? I'm pretty sure he said, "Do you want to hear some TV?" Where did their wedding photo get taken? Because they didn't
Yeah.
take that wedding photo
Well, we could argue that photo was taken
beforehand.
outside of what
Yeah.
we filmed. You know what's funny? You can see Father Carmine's head. So again, for our listeners, we see a photo on top of the TV, and it's actually a legit photo of kind of the wedding group. We got Rocky and Adrian, Pauline Gazzo, and Father Carmine there. So what? Mickey took the photo,
Yeah, it's a
or
the
Gloria?
perspective is that there's a photographer like further back in the altar area.
Right. Yeah, good catch. That makes me happy. They have
Yes.
a proper photo.
Mhm.
I never noticed that photo before. That's a proper photo because the one Father Carmine, he's the best, isn't he?
Defeated the Buccaneers in overtime, 13-10.
They don't have any furniture.
It's an- They can't afford it.
Look at those solid oak floors, though.
Yeah.
They look,
Yep.
honestly, they look good. I like them. They
Mhm.
look clean, nice and shiny.
But you're right. This is a ridiculous place for the TV. It doesn't make sense. He has to watch it on the stairs. To be in front of it. There's no furniture.
Chair by the kitchen next to a plant. I don't know why that chair's there. What purpose does it serve?
Yeah, I don't know.
What'd you do today, huh?
We lost now
Huh?
for that team
Did you
for
bark at
the
anybody today? You know, Adrian, sometimes I look at Buckets, I don't think he's a normal canine.
Well, what do you think he is?
I don't know, he just don't look like a regular dog to me sometimes. You know, when I look.
Katie, do you wear shoes in the house?
No.
I've heard that's an American thing, is people wear shoes in their house.
Most people don't wear shoes in their own house. Like if you're not planning to go somewhere and you're just at home.
Okay.
And I don't, but some houses like they ask you to take your shoes off, but most of the time you
Yeah,
don't.
they would ask you to, but in Canada, you take your shoes off. You never.
Yeah,
wear
it's like
your shoes.
if you don't take your shoes off in someone's house, that's fucked up.
Oh, okay. Well, it is, and I've heard in Asian culture too, it is odd and it is gross, but then I guess I can see both sides of it because your shoes are part of your outfit.
I think in Canada, for most of the country at least, for a good part of the year, if you wore your shoes in the house, there'd be like mud and snow and
Oh.
shit. Like I think
Yeah.
it's more of a practical necessity where it's like you don't want your house to have like mud prints everywhere. Where I think maybe in some places with better weather you can get away with wearing shoes in the house. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I always find it odd. Like that's one of the things that distracts me when I see him wearing these shoes in his house.
She has shoes on too. Yeah.
Yeah, she has her high heels, or is that called a high? What do you call that? A lift, or what do you call those type of shoes?
A
where
platform.
It's hard to tell. It just looks
Well,
like a
it's
low
like
heel.
it's a thick heel. So the high heel is usually pointy. I don't know when.
Well, no,
This is
that's just a stiletto. You can have a high heel that's not a stiletto, which is the pointy one that you're referring to.
Thank you for letting me know that. I admit my high heel knowledge isn't very good. I don't shop for them too often.
Now, this is criticizing the time period more than the film, but Rocky and Adrian both work full time. Adrian is physically taxed too because she's pregnant. But you notice when they get home, who gets to relax and who's like working and making dinner and shit.
Well, I noticed it even when episode before this, when she takes on the job. But I'm starting to get hungry. Can you go cook dinner? And I'm like, no, you go cook dinner.
Now, to be fair, I will say this in our house. Becky does all the cooking, but I do all the cleaning. So to be fair to Rocky, maybe he's the cleaner. He sweeps real good, right? So
he might. That's true.
Yeah, my wife does all the cooking, and I do. And the cleaning can take a long time. The kitchen, the dishes. I do the vacuuming. I do the counters, the dishes.
That's fair. It's a good division of labor, right?
Yeah.
Because like no one wants to cook dinner and clean up after it. But
yeah, but I do think it's probably just like a little time capsule. It's the 70s, and so women did do.
You're right. I think in this situation, it is the woman in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yes. Every relationship's different, of course, but in our house, I'm not a good cook. Becky's a good cook. I sweep good.
Boxing, because earlier today, I was down at Apollo Creed's palatial gym.
Palatial gym. I love it.
The world champion was not at a loss for words about Rocky Balboa.
Oh, wait. There's a couch next to the TV there.
A chair or something.
Right there.
If it is, why isn't he sitting?
It's the edge of a couch, right? I think to the left is...
It could be a love seat, but whatever it is, he could sit in. I think he has to sit on the...
Right, exactly. It's for the shot, but in real life, it'd make more sense that he would be plopped on the couch watching TV. Yeah, for sure.
Boxing, because earlier today, I was down at Apollo
So they do have
Creed's
furniture.
palatial gym.
All right.
And as usual, the world champion was not at a loss for words about Rocky Balboa.
Look, I know a lot of people out there want to see me in a rematch with a timid fellow who calls himself the Italian Stallion. But this man does not have the honor to meet me in the ring. Or is it Scallion?
Now listen,
what's his name?
Fairness, Apollo.
What is your name,
Balboa did officially retire.
Yeah, the bum's hiding, the bum's running. He doesn't want to face me. He's scared. You know it and I know it.
Apollo, I think there's more here than meets the eye. You've been under close scrutiny ever since that split decision victory. A lot of reporters, Apollo, including me, thought it was an even draw.
That's your opinion and you're entitled to it. But now I'm ready to have a rematch to prove that this Lucky Club fighter, and that's what he was, Lucky, does not have the skill to last 5 minutes in the ring with a superior athlete like me. The man's running, the man's hiding, the man doesn't want to face me. So I say to you, Rocky Balboa, whatever your name is, that I want the American people to know. I want the whole world to know that I'm ready, willing, and able to meet you anywhere, any place, anytime. I will meet and defeat this so-called fighter who calls himself the Italian Stallion. If the man only has the guts to give me a call, and you can call me collect. Call me, Balboa.
I didn't want to pause because I don't want to interrupt the flow, the Apollo flow of words, and great acting by Carl Weathers. And great delivery by Carl Weathers. Great delivery by, of course, Apollo Creed. And he's not fooling around. You can tell too. This isn't showmanship, Apollo. This is truly angry Apollo.
He's bringing some more nicknames, and it's a big diss if you're like, or whatever your name is. But he didn't say the Italian chicken, so it doesn't really track because he doesn't have the skill to last 5 minutes in the ring with me. Well, he did already last 15 rounds with you.
Well, he didn't take that.
Somehow it's luck. So I don't like. I've criticized this before, but somehow
luck that he got the fight. I think it's lucky club fighter. I think he's saying it's lucky he got picked.
He is
at the press conference. They were saying Apollo's like, I took the fight too lightly. Too lightly. And he was just plain lucky, which to me is justifying why the fight was so close.
I think the idea that he got drawn from a hat, too. I guess I'm dividing the two. There's two different times he's used lucky. My brain went to that other part that he was lucky he ever got a chance. Thus, I can beat him, no problem, when I don't take it lightly. But you're right, it's semantics. Either way, it's luck all around. Luck that he got picked, lucky that...
It's weird because in reality, it's Rocky's ability to take punishment is why he stayed in the round or stayed in the fight. So no one's saying Rocky Balboa is a particularly skilled fighter. No one's saying he's more skilled or is a better fighter than Apollo, but he could take the hits, right? And the only thing that I guess that would have bothered him is it was split decision. At least one judge thought that Apollo lost. and the other two judges had it close. That does kind of say that maybe Apollo's ability to fight wasn't as good as he thought it was.
That scene was well shot also in that it showed nothing was said, but we show how it's affecting Rocky and also how it's affecting Adrian. We get the shot of Adrian like holding her stomach, look disappointed, like knowing what's going through Rocky's head as she's hearing this. And so she's like, oh, great.
That was actually a really great shot. Great director's choice by Sly to do that, to pan into the kitchen. What a great sound system that TV has, eh? Did you notice the sound quality of that TV broadcast? Was pretty good for that, from that 1979 TV. Anyways, yeah, so she's hearing what Rocky's hearing, and she placed himself like, I know my husband, and this is going to kill him. And he walks up the steps, and here comes that great conversation.
He can't confront his demons. Kind of runs from things. He'll always just walk away from stuff. I noticed that a lot in the first film. Stuff bothers him, but he doesn't want to say it. And he's watching this show, and you see him kind of like just leave the TV on and walk away. He really kind of escapes the room. He's running from that. He's having a hard time dealing with his feelings, and he doesn't know how to deal with it. What you should do is you should probably talk to the person you're a partner with. This is really hard. Like, I hate sweeping up at this place. I really want to fight this guy. This thing is driving me nuts.
I'm making assumptions about how things were in the 70s, but I have this feeling that in the 70s, the man, that wasn't a thing to do. Like, the man of the house is supposed to be the big, strong one, and you don't really talk to your... Although Rocky and Adrian are a little bit different, but I think he's trying to shield her from what he's feeling.
So Mickey's going to get mad at this? So he's got, what does his mug say? Soups? Crackers? Soup? What is he eating?
A graham cracker? I always thought it was a graham cracker.
It is a graham cracker. He wouldn't have soup in there then. We'll see what flies across the carpet.
It is a liquid of some sort.
Yeah, it is.
It is a liquid.
Hit this fucking carpet, and it drives me nuts.
Maybe it's water. Maybe he's eating graham crackers and water.
I can smell that room just by looking at him. Like,
what does he have hanging behind him there? The yellow and red? What is that?
I think it's clothes. He's drying clothes or something like that.
Okay. He's got a newspaper next to him on the left of him there. He's got his bandage. Was it corns on his feet with bandages? What's that all about?
Oh, yeah. He probably has athlete's foot. Who knows?
The housekeeper didn't come that day.
World to know that I'm ready, willing, and able to meet you anywhere, any place, anytime. I will meet and defeat this so-called fighter who calls himself the Italian Stallion. If the man only has the guts to give me a call, and you can call me collect. Call me, Balboa.
This would be a legitimate rematch. The boxer against the puncher, and I think everyone wants to see them back in the ring together. But there's only one problem. Where is Rocky Balboa? I'm Brent Musburger.
Yeah, I don't know what was in the...
I'm hoping water.
Bowl. Yeah, hopefully it's water.
Who drinks water out of a bowl? Okay, to be fair, actually, Ryan, I'm gonna go back on that. He didn't have a spoon. So it does make sense that whatever's in there, it's more of a drinking thing than an eating thing.
Well, it's sort of like a soup cup, you know, so it could be either a bowl or a giant cup. And
yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
He Maybe only had one sock on.
Or something.
Yeah. Well, he was airing out his corns. You saw that. That's
maybe he used his other sock for something else.
All right. So now Rocky's in the bedroom. Nice little pretty picture there of Adrian behind him on the dresser, and he's thinking this interview and the heckling that he received at the gym that day, the natural heckling that he received from that was generated from the cartoon. It's all getting to him now. He's already decided in his mind now he's going to tell, of course, Adrian, I can't do this anymore.
You know, I was thinking that I ain't supposed to do no commercials, and I ain't supposed to work in no meat house. I'm supposed to be a fighter.
But you gave that up.
Yeah, I think I'm becoming a nobody again, too.
In whose eyes? Not mine.
In mine. In here.
That's valid.
He is talking to her.
Yes. So I was just
I really missed that.
Too.
I'm like, shit, I should know this, having seen the movie so many times.
I think that him going upstairs wasn't to get away from Adrian. It was just probably to get away from the TV, collect his thoughts. But he's actually bring up a good point. Even if your spouse or your significant other or family member, whoever says, hey, we still love you. You failed at your goal, but we still love you. It's like, okay, I know you love me, and I know you don't think less of me, but in my eyes, I'm not happy where I am right now. And that has to be valid. Mm-hmm. His feeling of who he is or what he thinks he should be, that has to be valid.
Yeah, like his self-esteem has been just destroyed, right? Yeah, his whole purpose of that first fight was to be not to be another bum from the neighborhood, which is where he feels like he's going, which I don't think is true. I don't think at this point he's another bum from the neighborhood. Like, he's an upstanding person now. He's come a long way since where he was in the first film, but he doesn't feel that way. And kind of like what Mason Dixon's trainer said to him in Rocky Balboa is the only respect that matters in this world is self-respect.
There you go.
We'll get by.
I just did. I don't want you to get by the hard way, you know? I want you to have good things. I want the kid to have good things.
We'll have him.
I just think we need him now, don't you?
She says we'll have them. No, Adrian, I love you. But what's your goal? Like, Rocky's saying, look, we have an okay house, but life isn't getting better. You're pregnant. You're working at a pet shop. The baby's going to be born, so you're going to have to stop working at the pet shop to raise the baby at home. I'm going to be sweeping Mickey's gym. It's not about getting by. He's right. And when he says good things, he's not necessarily saying, well, he gets them, of course, a robot and Lamborghini in part 4, but he's specifically talking about opportunities. We all know what money does for people, right? We understand. So obviously, when you're in a poverty-stricken home, you don't have as many opportunities for education, family vacations, whatever it is. So he's just looking at it as his life he was a bum, raised poor, who knows where his parents were. He wants his family to have stability and freedom. He doesn't want to just get by. He's been getting by his whole life. He kind of wants something different for his kid. Mm-hmm. And so I get it.
Yeah, I grew up in a house that financially struggled a lot. That's something that I still live with. Like, even like no matter how much money I save or how financially secure I feel, I always feel like I'm just kind of like one step away from something bad happening. And there's probably more to it than that. I'm not saying everyone who grows up in that situation experiences that. Like, it's unique to me. But I'm guessing others can be like that too. Like, I don't want my kids to worry about family money the way I did growing up. Yeah. So it's like, I really get them wanting to have nice things. And I don't mean, I agree with Ryan. I don't think he's saying he wants them to live in like luxury or something, but I think no one likes living hand to mouth. Like, no one likes living paycheck to paycheck and being like one medical event or one anything away from being on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
And like Ryan said, it's like, once this baby comes, Adrian's ability to work is diminished. They would lose that house. He would make like what the property taxes are in that place. There's no way they can afford that. If I'm him, I'd be like, I'm taking that fight. I don't care if I go down.
If you want to leave me because I'm going to fight and I get a, whatever, $10 million payout or $5 million payout, whatever they're giving me for a rematch, I'll pay the alimony. But either way, I'm still better off with $2 million split in half than zero split in half.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I do that too.
See, he's not willing to lose Adrian. Like, that's the one thing that he won't.
You're very right. I guess, Kyle and I are coming from the idea of provider.
In my mind, I'm like, she'll get over it once I do that fight.
Well, look at the Rocky 3. She was over it. She was dancing in the crowd during the fights. We'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
She was like dancing, having fun.
Yeah,
when
she
Rocky's
likes that money.
Rocky's combing his hair with his gloves in the ring and stuff, and Adrian's dancing with Robert Jr. Anyways, yeah. So
they do lose all their money in the end, though. It's ironic.
Her priorities are not financial at all.
Mm-mm.
Like in Rocky 5, she cares about her husband's health and his well-being, and like she's the same way in this film. She doesn't want to see him disabled. I respect that way that she puts people over money, but I also see his opinion, and I am more in his position in real life, where I'm just like, yeah, I'm not saying money isn't important, but it kind of is too.
Yeah.
Oh, Rocky, please. You don't have to prove anything. I don't want you to do it.
That's all I know.
I know this next line doesn't age very well.
Yeah.
I think this is what he's saying. And I know it doesn't age well because he mentions man, woman,
Mm-hmm.
right? The whole gender talk. It's not what this is about. This was 1979 to begin with. She said, I don't want you to do it. He says, it's all I know. Especially in 79, there wasn't too many female boxers. There wasn't too many female MMA fighters. Maybe there was some. I don't know. But he's saying right now, I'm a fighter It's all I know. And she's coming from the approach of a female, so to speak, tender, loving. We'll get through this. We'll get through this emotionally, where Rocky's saying, well, I want to get through this logically, pragmatically. We get a payout. We can fix our problems. Adrian's like, I don't want you to get hurt. We'll fix them another way. So when he says the man-woman line here, I think he's saying that too. He's saying, I'm thinking like a man. I haven't asked you to stop thinking like a woman in this relationship as the caregiver, as the emotional support. But I'm asking you at this time, don't ask me to stop thinking like a man. I think that's Rocky's ideas here. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar thing where I thought, in terms of roles, she's not letting him take his role in his mind. Where it's like, my role's the provider here. And that's what they've decided, right? Well, she provides in a way, but really in this dynamic, especially at this time, the men are the providers. And he's like, you're not letting me do what I do. I have to work this bullshit job that I really don't want to do because you're concerned that I'm going to be hurt, which is fair enough. But fighting is who I am. It's what I do. It's giving us the opportunity to live a life where we're not impoverished. Let me do my job here. Come on.
And funny enough, in the Rocky versus Drago, Rocky 4 director's cut, he refers to this line in that film. So Sly used it again. If you remember that scene.
Yeah, there are just certain things he likes, and they don't always make a ton of sense. But
he's old school.
Yeah.
Like even I'm old school compared to today's generation. So when I heard this line back then, it never even crossed my mind that he said anything that wouldn't quote unquote age very well. So imagine Sly, who's 30 years older than us, or me. It doesn't age for him at all. So I just want to say hi to a new viewer, Random Rick Reviewer. I created a Twitch channel so people can pop into our Twitch channel when this is streaming live. So I think that's what happens. So thanks,
cool.
Rick, for saying hi. He says, what's up, fans who have what looks to be great taste in movies? So thanks, Rick. I don't know if he's still watching on Twitch, but it was very nice of him to say hi and pop in. So
Cool.
Yeah, we do have a Twitch account. I'll post that in future episodes. Well, how Twitch works is the same thing. It's just when we go live, people get an alert that we gone live and they can join the Twitch feed as well. So, okay. Oh, he's hanging around. Okay, thanks, Rick. Very kind of him. Wow, we better be on our good behavior then. It's his first time watching.
If I'm Rocky and I'm talking to her, I think my emotional reaction would be like, F you, I'm doing this. But in reality, I think I'd say, look, okay, if we're not going to I'm going to fight Apollo and get this big payday route, we have to come up with some sort of plan for the long term, because I'm not going to spend. Okay, he's what, 30? She's supposed to be 31 here, and you work till you're say 60. So it's like, I'm not going to spend the next 29, 30 years doing this job, right? Like, I got to figure out what I want to do. We have to come up with something that's actually realistic, or else we're going to have to really consider this option here with fighting.
When he says it's all in, it does kind of irk me. Not necessarily. I don't take issue with. I know it was written in the 70s, so the man-woman thing, that's not what I'm talking about. But the fact that he just shuts down the conversation with, she says, I don't want you to do it. He says, it's all I know. Like, he's like, done deal. I'm doing it.
Well, a decision has to be made. I know this is where it gets tricky. And this is a whole, we're getting a whole discussion of marriage, couples, and how it works. But a decision, you can't
I know.
piss or get off the pot. Someone's going to make either a fight or a don't. Rocky's saying, I'm fighting, sorry. And she's upset about it.
Because Rocky is he's on a pedestal for me in almost every way. And so when he does something that I see as not perfect, it stands out to me.
Sure.
Also, he does also know, he knows fighting, and he knows he can be a mob enforcer. So he could technically do that.
See, I wonder if Asia would be okay with him breaking thumbs. Is she okay with that? He won't go blind.
He could go to jail, though. That would be my concern to find his spouse.
Yeah, that's never brought up. I think that's off the table completely.
Yeah.
I never asked you to stop being a woman, Please. I'm asking you, please. Don't ask me to stop being a man.
She's not happy. Saved by the bell. Yeah, saved by the bell. So Mickey's cleaned up his food mess. He must live close. They must live close to each other, because he didn't take a cab there, or
Mickey is knocking there's a gang of people got to kill him, and he needs to get in the house now, or else he's done for. Who the hell knocks like that? Just constantly wrapping your hand on that door.
And I love how Rocky isn't alerted by that crazy knock. He'd be like, "Oh, what?" Like if I heard that knocking on my door, I'd actually be a little bit scared. Is it a SWAT team?
It's probably just the Jehovah's Witnesses, you know.
Yeah, he's in no hurry.
No, he's like, all right. So it's Mickey. He literally got out of his bed and walked over there, or Ubered it very quickly to Rocky's house.
I think we ought to knock his block off.
Absolutely.
Rocky.
Sorry. Oh, he says sorry too. Oh, look at that face.
I love the thing. Her shirt with I've always liked this with baby and the arrow pointing down. Standing at the stairs. It's like such a guilt trip.
Yeah, good point.
Remember, the baby's here.
This is
if you get killed in the ring, I'm gonna be alone with them.
This exact scene is replicated in, I think, each movie in some way.
Yeah,
her on the stairs. Yeah,
you're
looking
absolutely
down.
correct. Oh, speaking of stairs, did we mention this in our Rocky 1 coverage? When Rocky stood on top of the stairs, inviting Adrian into his apartment. Did we make that? We did,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a power dynamic.
They're into the stairs thing. It's a constant
Well,
theme.
steps, stairs, steps.
Yeah.
You know.
She's looking good too, I gotta say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she looks great. I would double.
But she
tap
does
that.
have kind of the whiny face where it's like, but
Well,
'cause
that's
she's
okay.
pissed off. But
That
otherwise
actually
she's
makes
looking-
makes her look a little sexier. She's a little
Yeah.
sultry and emo there, you know.
Yeah, I'm actually attracted to women who are kind of bitchy and stuff too.
This is where we'll end this segment here. We're going to do our Rocket trivia, so you guys can play at home and answer right away, pretty much, because we're going to do the question and answers right away.
Oh, random Rick review. Please don't type your answers into the chat because we can see it.
Yeah, answer in your head at home. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we on the last 5? Kyle missed something somewhere, which is fine, but
What?
there might have been an episode because you have 40 or 45. How do you?
Yeah, he's got 5 less. What
What's your
number do
score
you show
for-
us being on?
I have it numbered on the whole thing. I have us on 91 to 95, which would be, I guess, 41 to 45 if the last season was 50.
Yeah, so we're
Yeah.
at 45 right now, so that's okay. Somewhere we missed 5. I'd have to go back and listen to the whole season 2 to figure out which 5 were missed, but it's okay. What we'll do is we'll just give everyone 5 points. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So we'll zero out. But we did answer and ask the questions, but we must have missed somewhere. It might have been an episode that Kyle might have missed, and we forgot to tally it or something. It's what it might have happened.
No, I think we didn't do trivia that time.
Fair enough. So we just missed writing it down.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the last 5 for Rocky 2. Who says you're a one-time lucky bum? Well, yeah, we'll answer the score right now. Does anyone not know it? So, Katie, I'll give it to you.
Apollo.
Okay.
One time lucky bum. I don't think that's exactly what he said,
right.
but that is like the gist of what he said.
Mhm.
Who says I've never seen so many Italians in one place?
Okay,
I know it.
it's which one though?
I have a feeling that he said one of the I have a feeling he didn't say
The
That's
name.
what happened.
Strahan.
Yeah, that's what happened last time. There was another
Okay,
thing.
I'll say one of the announcers too. So let's go. We all know it's an announcer. Name
I'm
wise,
going with Stu Nahan.
Yeah, same.
Stu Nahan or Bill Baldwin. So we're all going to say Stu. Okay.
Yeah.
Who is in the red corner?
In
What-
reference to what?
Probably Apollo's corner because he was wearing red. A boy named Rocco who's 10 years old. He made this trivia book. It's available on
pretty great.
Amazon. So he was 10 years old when he made this. So some of the questions are a little bit rough. We're like, I'm not sure.
Well, so I don't know. Does he mean which
Oh,
fighter?
he might
or
just
does
mean it might just mean that it was Apollo was in the red corner. So Apollo
Yeah.
was in the red corner.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like who and what staff because I think his lawyer was there too.
So he had a guy who like took care of his hair or something.
But he had a suit on. Like I think he was just in the first row, and it was
Oh.
one
Like,
of his people. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Who says I think we gotta knock his block off?
We just covered it. Nick.
And last question of the Rocky 2 trivia is why is Rocky happy that the fight is going to be in at the Philadelphia Spectrum?
Oh, come on.
It's 10
So
minutes
what-
from my house.
Yeah, so there you go. I think we nailed all 5. Let's see what the answers are officially. The answer is Apollo. Oh boy, Bill Baldwin.
No way. We all picked the wrong one. Shoot.
Yeah.
Take the hit.
Yeah.
Apollo again. Yeah. So he was saying who was in the red corner. So what fight? He maybe
Which
should have
fighter?
worded it.
Yeah.
Which fighter was in the red corner? Yeah, that's fine. Mickey, of course, said that, and he was happy because exactly Katie got it right on the time. 10 minutes from his house. Was it a 10-minute drive? Yeah, 10-minute drive. Okay.
Mhm.
I said close to his house. Does that count?
Yeah.
Judges will allow it.
Yeah.
We just
Okay.
but
So we all got 4 out of 5 because we picked the wrong announcer.
Okay, so all of us got 4. So that kind of sucks because it no one's gained on anyone else.
yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Well.
so that was the last of the Rocky 2 questions. Join us again in 2 weeks. Everyone who's listening to us live and are on your favorite podcast apps will be, of course, a new episode in 2 weeks. This is a big season. Season 1 went by quicker than season 2. I don't know why that is. This is a bigger film in some ways. There's a lot going on in this film.
A lot of domestic stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that hurt, Shane. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna end this live. That's it. That's it.
I didn't hear no bell.